Hey, it's Mista Glista. I felt like telling a story about my day off and how it's going so far. So I woke up at like 7 a.m., earlier than I expected, but I went to bed at around 9:45. I was exhausted after jujitsu and Muay Thai last night, so hit the hay early, woke up feeling pretty okay at 7, still felt like snoozing, but I was like, no, I got two main objectives to take care of. Number one, get my license renewed, and going to the DMV is always a harrowing experience, so I was not exactly looking forward to it. And number two, get my oil changed, because it had been like 6 months, so a little overdue. I don't want to go into the winter with a clunky oil burning car. So it was kind of lazy going through my morning routine. Got out the door by around 8, headed straight for Midas to get the oil change done. Well, usually I'm there early and beat the rush, and they can get me in and out. I don't even have to wait. But this time he was like, "Oh, I gotta actually make an appointment for you, and the soonest opening is 12:30." I was like, "Okay, day off. I don't care. Put me down. 12:30. I'll be back." So in the meantime, I was like, "All right, I don't want to waste time. I might as well go to the DMV, and then I'll come back here." So I get to the DMV at like, I don't know, 8:45-ish in Elgin, which, typically Elgin DMV, I've had good experiences as far as DMVs go. Schaumburg one, not so much, and I think it was Naperville one, not so much, but Elgin one, usually good. It's where I got my license first, too, so it's got a soft spot for me. As far as DMVs go, can you have a soft spot for those? Sure enough, I get to the door, and I was turned away because I didn't have an appointment again. I didn't know you needed an appointment for the DMV. This must be a new thing, but lady gives me a card with a little QR code, so I scan it right there in my car before I even leave the parking lot and make the appointment for 10:40 a.m. It was currently like 9:20, so I'm like, once again, I gotta wait after I got up nice and early and was ready to attack the day, check off my objectives. But it's time to have a little fun. So I went to the disc golf course, Rolling Knolls over in Elgin, since I was in the area. So I popped back east on Lake Street, got to the course. Beautiful day. It was like the leaves were all changing colors. Illinois doesn't get enough credit for how beautiful it is, especially courses like Delwood down in Joliet, all those picturesque places. But it was a gorgeous day. I put my disc golf shoes on, my ratty ones, thank God, and get my bag out of the car, walk down towards hole 1. And it was kind of like damp and dewy, and it's a real quick transition down, like, I don't know, 8 feet down this little slope. My right heel steps on dog poop, and I slip. And I fly down this hill, like just fall on my knees forward. I let go of my cart. Everything just like bam. Luckily, the poop stayed on my right heel, and I was able to wipe that off in the dewy grass very easily, and they were not my nice shoes, but gross nonetheless. No more poop anywhere. That would have ruined my day. So recovered, brushed myself off, threw a decent drive, and then proceeded to have a pretty good round. I think I got 2 birdies before the section of par 4s, which, I play everything as a par 3, the way I keep track of my score, I call Iron Man. But I ended up Iron Man even by the time I got to hole 16. So I'd recovered to even. I think I went 2 birdies and then 3 bogeys, which are actually pars on the par 4s, and then 2... Oh, and then I took another bogey on a par 3, and then I got 2 makeup birdies. So 2 birdies, 4 bogeys, 2 birdies. Was feeling good. And I have a great internal clock, and I'm usually good at keeping track of time and knowing when I gotta be somewhere. I just know what time it is. Well, I get to hole 16. I got the DMV appointment at 10:40, and I go to check my phone. Finally, I didn't check my phone a single time this whole round. And it was 10:30. I thought it would be like 10:10. I literally said to myself, I bet it's like 10:10. 10:30. So I have 10 minutes to get back to the DMV. Thank God I'm in the same town, but it's still a little bit of a hike. So I'm sprinting back to my car, and I'm not like going through the course. I'm going like as the crow flies, beeline to my car. I'm like sprinting through the brush, carrying my bag, which is like bouncing all around. It's just this two-wheeled cart. And oh my God, it must have been a hilarious sight to any onlookers that saw. Luckily, made it to my car in 3 minutes. That's like a quarter mile in 3 minutes carrying a disc golf cart going slightly uphill. So I was impressed, but thoroughly out of breath and drenched in sweat. So I cruised to the DMV. I don't even want to say how fast I was going on Lake Street, and make it at 10:41. Now, you know how these places are sometimes. I was like, God forbid they turn me away for being 1 minute late for my appointment. But no. I get in, I got like sweat stains on my hoodie. It's like going down my forehead. I mean, embarrassingly sweaty, but what was I supposed to do? I wasn't going to miss my appointment. It's not a beauty pageant, it's the DMV. So, I luckily get in, everything's fine. I did have to take a picture, which luckily I don't look like a sweaty mess in. But what's funny is it looks almost exactly like my picture from 4 years ago. I mean, almost no change. I was also wearing a hoodie, coincidentally. They could have just used the same picture. It wouldn't have made a difference, honestly. I had to take the written test. Or actually, before that, I had to go to this other desk to get set up for the written test. And the lady was real nice, good interaction. And she was like, oh, do you want to change your eye color? Because are they blue? I think it said green on my license. And I was like, is gray an option? Can I just go gray? Because if they look blue, it's probably just because I'm wearing a blue hoodie. Like, they change color. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay, gray actually is an option. She's like, oh, you have those pretty gray eyes. I was like, oh, my God. Never been complimented at the DMV. And I was like, oh, thank you. Yeah, I always grew up wanting brown eyes.
Don't know why, always wanted brown over blue eyes.
And she's like, no, you don't want brown eyes. She had brown eyes. And then as quickly as I got that compliment, she goes, what color is your hair? And I was like, excuse me? Are you telling me I got gray hair? You want to put me down for gray eyes and gray hair? I'm 33 years old. A gray hair on my license? No. Just because I got like this gray crown, this gray halo going on, this gray-lo, if you will. No. You're not putting gray on my license. I said brown, please. If the facial hair is still brown, I get brown. So got through that, onto the written test section. And I had studied a little bit in the morning. That was part of my morning routine that I was sulking around the house with, taking forever to get out the door. Was brushing up on this test, which thank God I did, because it was very, very similar to the practice test I took. Not that I was worried, but the part that caught me off guard is they ask you to identify signs, but they take like the graphics out of the sign. So my third question, first two questions right, no problem. My third question is this circle sign. It's just this yellow circle with like one black circle on the border within the yellow circle. And I was like, what does this sign mean? And I don't know what it was ABC, and one of them was just ridiculous. Like, I don't know, this sign means go 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. There was always one that was so obvious, just eliminate it. So you got your 50-50 who wants to be a millionaire, and it was something about you're approaching a rural road, something about a rural or country road, or railroad crossing. And I was like, okay, I know a railroad crossing is a yellow circle with the X and the RR on either side of the X. They don't tell you like this sign has something taken out of it that you usually see while you're driving. So I'm just supposed to like identify that blank circle with railroad. So I picked skip. I never knew what the answer was, but I'm pretty darn sure it's railroad, because later on they would show you just a blank red octagon, and clearly it's a stop sign, but it didn't say stop on it. Same with the yield and that other stuff. So if you got to take your written driver's test in Illinois, you don't have much to worry about, but I would brush up, take like a free online practice test. There's also some hysterical questions that if I I wish I could have whipped out my phone. Obviously, you can't have a recording device like in the testing area, but I wanted to take a picture so badly. There were like 2 questions in particular about DUIs and drunk driving. One of them, the dude is like in his car, hands at 10 and 2, but there's a beer in the right hand. He's just holding a bottle of beer like at eye level so that everyone around... Oh my God. And each picture too, including these blank signs that you don't actually see on the road, had an enlarge picture option. And every time they showed me something ridiculous, I had to enlarge the picture just to truly appreciate. Oh man, whoever created that test, at least they had a little bit of a sense of humor. I hope the intention was to like loosen people up if they were like nervous about the test and like relax them into doing well. But oh my God, that was funny. So after that, I passed despite these weird looking signs. I went to Sunny Hill, my disc golf course that I learned to play on, this little 9-hole in Streamwood. Very underrated in my opinion, but I love playing Sunny Hill. It's a good learning course. There's not a lot of long distance. No, there's some long distance shots actually, but just a lot of fun lines, and you could play like Safari, like hole 2's tee to hole 4's basket or hole 3's basket, which I did today, and it's like a 700-foot hole. And I threw about 420 or so of the 700. It was beautiful down this hill. It's like a 50-foot elevation drop. And there was this guy doing aeration. He had this giant machine, and it's got like this spiky metal cylinder on the back tilling up the grass as it goes. And he's driving. I didn't realize he was headed right for where my discs had landed. And I was like, oh my God, I love these drivers, Westside Sampos, and they're out of production. Like, you can't even get new ones anymore. And it would have broken my heart if they got punctured. So the guy goes by, and he like looks down as he is going by. And I'm just like, no. Now, mind you, I'm watching this from like 450 feet away because I'm still at the tee where I'd thrown him from. So I couldn't even like shout. Dude's wearing like these soundproof giant yellow headphones. So I'm like, oh my God. So I finished out hole 2 through hole 3, and then I get down to like the halfway point where my discs had landed. And thank God he missed them. But ooh, he came within like a foot because I could see the tracks. Like if I had thrown 3 feet shorter, they would have gotten run over. So thank God. I threw a couple discs and they both landed within like 5 feet of each other in the same patch. And I was like, oh, ooh, that came close. Actually played a really good round there on the last hole. I drove righty and landed like 20 feet from the basket. And I drove lefty and landed like 15 feet from the basket and made the righty putt, made the lefty putt. So that was a nice ambidextrous double birdie to leave with. So then I headed to my... Oh, and right as I was leaving too, there was a guy like unpacking his car, like he was just about to play. And it had gotten very overcast in contrast to how nice it looked earlier at the Rolling Knolls course. And as soon as I pull out of the parking lot, it starts raining like medium hard and enough to spoil a disc golf round. I felt so bad for that guy because I've been there. You get to a course and then boom, starts pouring. You're like, come on, at least let me get like 3 holes in. No satisfaction. So I get to the oil change with plenty of time to spare. I was like 10 minutes early, but they took my car no problem. This Midas is great. It's the Hanover Park Midas, Army Trail and County Farm Road. Fantastic. It's like just west of Bloomingdale Mall. What is that called? Oh my God. Stratford. Just west of Stratford Mall. Very good. And I went and got a burrito just south of there at La Taqueria. I just walked through the rain to this little burrito spot. I'd gone there before as like it was like a work function introduction thing. We were all starting at this gym together, me and these other coaches, and that place is amazing. They gave me 3 different sauces. She said the red was hot, the green is usually medium, and then this orange one is like a flavorful sauce. I was like, okay. So I'm just dumping these sauces on my steak burrito and trying them out. I went with the hottest first, and it was really tasty, but it wasn't hot. And then the green one was really good in the middle section of the burrito. And then I finished with this orange one that was supposed to be like flavorful. Thought it'd be a nice little, I saved the best for last, the finale. And it was the spiciest one. Caught me by surprise. And I'm not colorblind. She said the orange one was the sweet one. And man, it was hot, but it was good. So, la taqueria, very good. Then I went back to the oil change shop. Car was ready. Then I had a bonus objective. So, got the license renewed, got the oil change done. Bonus objective was to get a new front door. Now, I wasn't really excited about this objective, but I got a letter from my homeowners association like 3 months ago, and it said, your house doesn't have a screen door. You need a screen door in this neighborhood. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me this earlier? And not to mention, aren't you guys responsible for the exterior? You're going to make me get a new front door. What the heck? So I didn't even know how much a front door was or how they install it or what that process is. But I was like, okay, let's go to the Home Depot to motivate myself to actually accomplish this bonus objective. I got a little Starbucks on the way. I got a Grande Americano, black. It was delicious. I was sipping that in the Home Depot. I was in heaven. Now I got to the doors section. They're like $1,000 for an exterior door. $1,000? Now, that's one with like the fancy glass and all that stuff. And the whole reason I had to get the new front door was that I was missing a screen door. Whoops. So I guess I could use a new front door anyway, but the screen door is really what I need. So now I'm like, oh my God, doors are expensive. And then I learned that you actually have to set up a door measurement first to make sure it's going to fit. And then you choose a door that fits those measurements, and then someone will install it. So bonus objective not accomplished, but at least I got started. So then I got home and looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, my teeth are stained. Whoo, I hadn't drank coffee for this whole week, and my teeth had gotten noticeably whiter because I was worried they were starting to look not so good. This is the time of year when, as your tan starts to fade, you cannot get away with tinted teeth. Like that contrast, that difference, some of you can probably relate better than me. Some of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But as your tan fades for the winter, your teeth better be on point because you don't get that contrast cheating anymore. So yeah, I'm back to no coffee. Thank God I brushed and they recovered a lot, but good Lord. Does anybody know any good alternatives that I can get my caffeine fix, like tea, or I don't really want to do kratom, some pick me up. I don't really want to do warm water. That's so boring. I don't know. Make a recommendation. Leave it in the comments, please. But last but not least, I'm going to try something new called the 1 hour song challenge, where I give you my full music screen of what's going on, and you watch the process from start to finish, me recording and mixing a song, hopefully to completion. Hopefully I actually finish it in 1 hour. I really just came up with this idea and kind of set up my room and equipment for it. This is really like a test run video for the audio and everything, and it seems good so far. So 1 hour challenge. In the future, if it goes well, I might have votes going on for which genre should I do next. Like, should it be a metal song? Should it be a Latin song? I don't know. We'll see. But either way, have a good weekend, and I'll catch you next time.